And welcome everybody to this week's exciting episode.
Launch lady pirate, have you got any grease?
Yeah.
Then grease me up, pirate.
I knew exactly where you were going with that one.
One of the greatest episodes of The Simpsons.
It is
of all
brilliant.
Time.
Yeah.
That's I'm excited for today.
Today.
Yeah. For this
I'm not even going to
episode.
pretend that I don't know what it's about. You've been going on about this all week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, weighing in at over 6'8" to 10 foot, who knows?
How many pounds?
And weighing over 1,000 pounds, he is the king of the forest, the king of the cryptids, the big hairy ape himself, Bigfoot.
Yes. It's about time.
Well,
Just over 2 years we've been waiting for this episode, Josh.
and to be honest, we could have waited longer. I thought there was going to be so much on Bigfoot to the point where it could have been like a 3-4-parter.
There is a lot on Bigfoot.
There is a lot.
Unfortunately, a lot of it is tripe.
It's not what we wanted.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd do we're going to let the people know straight away this is going to be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
We're going to treat it a bit like we did 9/11.
Yeah.
So the first part is going to be a bit of history and kind of debunking
what
it.
we know as fact.
Yeah, all the facts.
And then part 2 next week, we're going to go and see if we can actually find a
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
An actual bit of evidence and the stuff leaning towards more of the believing side of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, should we just dive in?
You might as well. There's no point in stringing it out now. You've done a big intro.
Let's do it.
Couldn't get much bigger of an intro than that.
Well, you've got to give the Bigfoot the respect, haven't you?
Yeah, I
He's-
suppose. You didn't even give, Truman Roswell that big an intro.
I mean, I think he'd understand. Bigfoot is bigger than
Who do you reckon
everyone.
would win, Truman Roswell or Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Well-
Truman.
It depends. If it's a wrestling match, then Truman. But if it's a fight to the death, then Bigfoot. But I think he'd be cool with that. He'd understand.
Honestly, I don't think Bigfoot would understand the rules if it was a wrestling match. So maybe not.
Don't know. If what's his name? Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah.
If he learnt to live with them peacefully and
That's
lovingly.
true. That's true.
Probably the weirdest Bigfoot representation ever, isn't it? The old Harry.
Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you remember the original film?
No.
Okay.
There was a
fair
film of Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, it was a film. The film was called Bigfoot and the Hendersons,
Oh, right.
which is the story of how he actually came to be with the family, and then they turned it into a TV series because it was so popular. Still John Lithgow and that,
Oh. Well, that's something I did not know about
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
there you go. See, it's only people my age that would remember that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're showing our age there with that
Yeah,
one.
I
aren't we?
definitely am, mate.
So let's dive into Bigfoot, big feet for the plural of more than one Bigfoot.
If there is a population, they are big feet.
Yeah.
I wonder what, a colony of Bigfoots would be called.
Big feet.
Big feet. Yeah, but we had this discussion earlier. What is a group of deer?
A mob.
A mob. Did you look it up?
Yeah.
Is it a mob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So so you get like a drove of pigs, a mob of deer, herd of cows,
Plethora of Bigfoot.
plethora of Bigfoot. Okay.
I'd like to actually think of it as a meeting of Bigfoot.
A meeting of Bigfoot. A war of Bigfoots.
Yeah. So, also commonly known as Sasquatch, it is a large and hairy human-like creature said to inhabit forests in North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, North California.
Most of Canada or
The south of Canada.
south of Canada?
There's
Okay.
been some
Bit cold for them
sightings.
up there, is it?
But yeah, specifically the actual Bigfoot.
Not the Yeti.
No, we're not even touching on the Yeti, and it's basically the same thing, but around the world in different places, depending where you go, it has a different name.
And Yeti eats snow cones.
Yeah, Yetis are more cold weather. So just the Bigfoot is the northwest. Yeah,
Northwest.
I was
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
never eat shredded wheat then. So,
Yeah, okay.
the northwest
I
of
bet
America.
Bigfoot never eats shredded wheat.
I bet he doesn't know. Bigfoot is considered both American and Canadian folklore. Since the mid 20th century, Bigfoot has become an icon amongst pop culture and conspiracy theorists. There have been many photos, videos, sound recordings, and sightings over the years to support the existence of Bigfoot. However, the scientific consensus is that Bigfoot and alleged evidence is a combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax rather than a living creature.
I feel like I should cover up my T-shirt now.
No, keep it out. It's a good shirt.
It's a good shirt, and it has Bigfoot on it, and you can get one yourself
Yeah.
at my mercher.
My mercher. I'm actually wearing a bit of merch today as well.
Yay! First time. I bought you
gone
that T-shirt.
gone for the
It
Star
looks
Wars
good on
one.
you.
Thanks,
The
mate.
Star Wars one.
It gets my muffin tops out a bit, but that's why I'm wearing a jacket.
I'm sorry, I should have got the 2XL.
Maybe 4XL. So folklorists trace the phenomenon of Bigfoot to many sources across the world, such as the European wild man, the skunk ape of the southeastern states, the Almas, the Yeren, the Momo, the Yeti, which is in Asia,
Yeah.
the wood booger. I'm even going to refer to Mike Pudlow Umney's book with some other... Oh, I've knocked the table.
Every time.
We've got the batutut, the chuchuna,
The big muddy monster I just saw
big
there.
muddy monster, the devil monkey. This one is the Diddy. Oh,
The Ebu Gogo.
I wonder if the Diddy,
Diddy-
was living
oh.
in the forest with baby lotion.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah, that's how it scrapes its hair back.
The Doko, the Gerrit. There's so many good ones. The Hybergon. I said this sounds like Judge Judy. The Jun Judy.
Probably looks like Judge Judy as well.
I mean, that's so close to Judge Judy. The list goes on.
There's like, I
there's
think there was
so
114 that he listed in there of different names for Bigfoot around the
Yeah.
world.
My favourite one, though, the Yowie, which is Australian.
Yowie?
Yeah. I've gone and spotted a Yowie, mate.
He does some hard worker.
Yeah, it does. I'm surprised you remember that. I didn't even remember that. All of these stories all describe a big, hairy, humanoid-like creature. The Bigfoot is described as being covered in black, brown, or red hair, standing anywhere between 6'8", 6'9", all the way up to 7'10", with the occasional description as being over 10 feet tall.
Wow.
So very varied
They'd be
sizes.
very varied sizes in feet as well, though, wouldn't they?
They would.
Yeah.
I've got a good story about footprints in different sizes in a bit.
Okay.
Sightings have described Bigfoot as more human than ape, particularly in regard to the facial features.
Okay. Well, the nose is like less apish because I mean, there's not a massive difference between apes and humans, is it?
No,
Apart from,
not
like,
really.
big fangs, and the nose particularly is different, and sort of
Yeah.
like the shape around the eyes is a little different. Oh, in some monkeys, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it's just like in Harry and the Hendersons, he does have a very sort of humanish sort of face, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Very good animatronics in that as well.
Yeah, it was the cutting edge of the kind of masks and things, wasn't it? I mean, they
Yeah,
did
because it
in
wasn't like
Hollywood.
CGI or nothing. It was an actual person in a suit,
Yeah,
and like the mask sort of moved, and he you know, you could see his emotions when he was happy or sad or anything. It was very, very cleverly done.
I also want to shout out before we get going. The new video that's going viral of Bigfoot leaning against a wall and then it turns and looks at the camera, staged. There's no way it's real. It looks clearly a mask.
I'm gonna actually have a little confession that I was looking through Amazon the other day when you told me that you was going to do Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I thought I'll get a Bigfoot mask for the episode. I couldn't get one in time, But I swear that exact same mask was on sale on Amazon for £38.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's so clearly fake. But
They also had a Chewbacca one for £25.
send me the link. So most cultures
Reviews weren't great.
No, but it's Chewbacca, so leave him alone and send me the link. So most cultures have accounts of human-like giants in their history, known as wild man or hairy man. And they would spend their time eating clams and shaking trees.
Clams?
Yep, eating clams and shaking trees.
Okay.
So in order to eat clams, I would assume that this forest is on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be like oceanic, because
Yeah.
you're not going to get... do clams grow in fresh water? I don't think
I
they
have
do.
no idea. Tune in when we do the clam episode.
Steamed clams, everybody.
Clam chowder. Chowder.
Say it.
So that's pretty much the description of Bigfoot. Everybody kind of knows
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
everyone knows
Sasquatch.
You could just look at
same
my
thing.
T-shirt if you're not sure.
It's all the same thing. And if you're born with the milk still on your mother's, well, from your mother's teeth, still on your upper lip, it's basically a silverback gorilla. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Bigfoot is,
Right.
that's pretty much it. A silverback
An
gorilla.
overgrown silverback gorilla.
Yeah. So let's dive
If you were
in.
that young, you wouldn't even know what one of those was about, would you?
No, because we've had this conversation before. The young guys that we work with don't even know half the stuff that's happened.
No.
I actually have a relative, through marriage. She didn't even know about JFK or 9/11 or anything like that.
No, it's crazy. They don't know anything that happened before the year 2000.
Yeah, like literally not. They weren't even. The crazy thing is, they weren't even taught it in history in school, which is terrible.
No.
Like she didn't even know about the big bomb, Hiroshima, all of that. Like
Yeah.
none
The
of it.
Millennium Bug
Yeah,
didn't affect them.
yeah, no idea about it.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the history of Bigfoot. And I actually found this to be the best part of my whole research because I actually didn't know any of this.
Oh, let's dive in then.
So have you heard of Painted Rock?
Is that a place?
It is. It's an archaeological. I can't even say that word.
Archaeological.
Thank you. And sacred site of the Yakuts, of the Tool River. Sorry.
I think I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you exactly where it is, apart from Tool River, obviously, now.
It's kind of like a cave, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say that sentence again. It is the sacred site of the Yakuts of the Tool River. And Yakuts are a tribe of Native Americans,
Right.
native to Central California. I feel like I'm talking too fast, so I can't get my words out. So I'm going to slow down. a
Is
bit.
Painted Rock, is that like the civilization that was built into a cave in sort of that area of that no one can quite date how far it goes back? Or
No,
am I thinking of a different place?
they've dated it and everything. Yeah, you're
Okay.
thinking of a different place. It's just basically Painted Rock just contains petroglyphs.
Yeah.
Images and drawings of Bigfoot, including a whole Bigfoot family, and it was discovered in 1882.
Yes, I definitely know that place. Yeah, and it's not the place that I'm thinking of.
The experts have dated the petroglyphs to be around 1,000 years old.
Wouldn't
Found that
surprise
quite
me.
interesting. 16th century Spanish explorers and Mexican settlers told tales of the Dark Watchers, large creatures alleged to stalk their camps at night. These are just little tidbits of little
To the
stories.
early settlers that went from Spain, they got that from what the Nazcas and the Mayans and that.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mississippi in 1721 reported stories of hairy creatures screaming loudly in the forest and stealing livestock. The Cherokee tribe of Native Americans tell tales of giants in the Appalachian Mountains as well. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt even wrote about a foul-smelling creature in his 1893 book.
Was he talking about Bigfoot?
He was, yeah,
Okay.
he was talking about that specific creature.
Definitely wasn't his wife or anything like that.
No. This is the early days of the history, just little tidbits and facts. Reverend Elkanah Walker.
Well done.
In 1840, recorded stories of giants living amongst the natives in Spokane, Washington. These giants were said to live on and around the peaks of the mountains with a more playful nature, stealing salmon from the fishermen's nets. And
Awesome.
we have a story here. This is a great one. So, Ape Canyon incident. On July 16th, 1924, a group of gold prospectors reported encountering gorilla men near their remote cabin. One man, called Fred Beck, shot one of the creatures with a rifle. That night, they were attacked by the same creatures who were said to have thrown large rocks at the cabin, damaging the roof and knocking some of the men unconscious. The men fled the area the following morning. And since then, it has been called Ape Canyon.
I think I have heard of that story before.
Yeah, it's one of the more famous ones.
They were throwing, like, not just small rocks, like boulders at them, weren't they?
Yeah, big old rocks, big old boulders, like tree stumps and things like that.
Like boulders that were weighing like sort of half a ton.
Yes.
Or like knocking chunks out of their buildings and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that story.
And there was footprints.
Yeah, very compelling evidence.
The name Bigfoot. Would you like to know where it comes from?
It's from the animal having excessively large feet.
Ah, that is correct. But there is a story behind it. And this is my favourite story out of all of them.
Do they have 5 toes?
Couldn't tell you. So,
Well, you did really good research, didn't you?
Like that matters. You almost got a swear word out of me then. Like, I've done plenty of research and I spent 6 hours on this thing, and then you come in with a question of, did it have 5 toes? Like that even matters.
Of course it matters.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
How many toes do apes have?
They have 5.
There you go then. So it's got 5 toes.
But technically they don't have any toes because they've got hands for feet, don't they?
Giant hand feet. All these years, we should be calling them giant hand feet.
I just wondered if they've got 6 toes, that's all. No, so they got extra big feet, they might have an extra toe.
This is the first I've heard of 6 toes. Like, I would imagine it's 5 toes, just like humans and other apes. You're the only one that's mentioned 6 toes. This is nuts to me.
Okay.
So, I was so close to swearing then.
I know.
So in 1958, a bulldozer operator for a logging company in California discovered a set of large human-like footprints with 5 toes. Sunk deep within the mud of the Six Rivers National Forest, they measured 16 inches long and roughly 10 inches wide. Upon informing the co-workers, many claimed to have seen similar tracks on other job sites, as well as other odd stories, such as huge oil drums weighing 450 pounds being moved in the night, being balanced on tree stumps, and the workers began using the word Bigfoot to describe the culprit, and the name stuck. So that's where it originally comes from.
Fair play.
After thinking it was a prank, some of the men contacted Andrew Gonzoli of the Humboldt Times, who interviewed the men and wrote articles about Bigfoot, which spread the name across the US.
Got in the papers.
Got in the papers.
Yeah.
And October 6th, 1958, the crew holding a plaster cast of the footprint that was found made front page news. And this resulted in the image and the story going worldwide, which is why everybody now knows it as Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah.
Because of this story on October 6th, 1958. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
However,
now
this is where we start getting to the debunking.
I was going to say, do I feel a butt coming on?
Now, where is it? I didn't even write down.
Toe.
The guy, definitely not sixth toe. The guy that had found the original footprints was a guy called Jerry Cruz.
Right.
Now, in 2002, the family of Jerry Cruz, deceased co-worker Ray Wallace found a collection of large carved wooden feet stored in his basement.
There were little straps on him. He just stuck them on his bottom of his feet and stamping it. But how did he lift a 450-gallon oil drum?
This is the thing. He didn't work alone.
Oh.
So he was very, very clever. So Ray Wallace was the guy. He had a collection of feet stored in his basement for this purpose. But he was inspired. So
interestingly, do you remember you didn't know about the Bigfoot and the Hendersons film?
Yeah.
That's what they do in the film to throw off the government that are trying to catch Bigfoot. They will put these wooden feet that they've carved on the bottom of it, and the whole family are walking around in different directions, so the government don't know which way Harry's gone.
That's very clever.
See? Yeah.
I like that.
They weren't the only ones that thought of that.
So Wallace was inspired by Rant Mullins, who revealed information about his hoaxes in 1982. In the 1930s, Mullins created giant wooden feet to create footprints to scare off people who were stealing their huckleberries. And I didn't know huckleberries were a real thing.
Nor did I.
I thought that was like in folklore and myth itself.
Are they valuable?
They must be if people are trying to steal them. I like to think of them as like, I don't know why, but
so the gold prospectors, but people are stealing their huckleberries.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But in my mind, huckleberries are just a blue strawberry. I don't know why I imagine them. No, they look nothing like it. But in my mind...
I'm imagining more like a gooseberry.
Possibly.
Like a green, hairy kind of berry.
Well, huckleberries are a thing. Who knew? The Americans are probably listening to this. Like, yeah, huckleberries are a thing.
Do you not know what a huckleberry is?
My mama makes huckleberry pie. So, I don't know what that voice was.
We put corn syrup in it.
There's definitely corn syrup in everything. Get it together. So, the group also claimed responsibility for the hoaxing of Ape Canyon in 1924.
Is it hoaxing?
It came full circle, pirate. So the guy Wallace, who done the footprints,
okay, I see.
It's come full circle. He got inspiration from Wallace. Wallace got inspiration by Rant Mullins, who was also responsible for Ape Canyon, who was part of that same group hoaxing it. So there was a group of them.
There we go. Everyone was in on it.
Yeah.
Apart from the people stealing huckleberries.
Yeah. So instead of huckleberries, Wallace used the footprints to scare away thieves from the construction site. So he was under the same...
They could have got a dog, called it a Huckleberry Hound. They
could have done. That's also an old reference that I don't know, but you're smiling, so you obviously are showing your age again, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. It's like when you told me about the littlest hobo.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about that.
No. That's got an awesome theme tune as well.
It has, yeah. That got stuck in my head for 2 days, and I didn't even know the song until you sang it. So now that's pretty much the stories I've got for you. So let's get into like some of the evidence, I suppose. Hoax evidence things, theories as to why people believe Bigfoot and don't believe him. Either way, so
we're going to get a lot of people on either team commenting on this podcast, I would imagine, or listening to the podcast and having their own opinions. Some people out there are going to be big believers in Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. Some people out there are going to be big believers in it being a hoax.
Yeah. It's going to be split.
Either way, we're damned.
I mean, either side is right and wrong for the same right or wrong reasons.
It's one of those. It's one of those subjects that we're going to get the trolls out no matter what.
There's probably going to be trolls, but we're just reporting on the stuff that we find or don't find.
Yeah, exactly. So I think unless we get definitive proof at the end of the next episode, the trolls are going to come out one way or the other.
Well, troll up. I'm all ears.
A troll could be a type of Bigfoot.
No, that's trolls.
I suppose they are different, aren't they?
They're very different.
Yeah, they live under bridges.
They do, and they take a toll. You have to pay the toll.
To the troll.
Toll. So no remains have ever been found of apes.
Nope.
No ape fossils in North America.
Nothing 10 feet tall, at least.
No, nothing.
No, you're right. there is literally no primates in America, are there? No native.
No native ones. Only exotic pets, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's never been fossils, bones, or anything found of that nature. When they did claim to have, well, over the years, several people have claimed to have hair that doesn't match DNA, and then eventually it comes out it's either a deer or a bear or another human or an elk or something along that. One of them was even a coyote hair. So it's, again, never been DNA proof of Bigfoot. There have also been huge grizzly bears named Bigfoot in 1895. Naturally. So after killing sheep for 15 years and weighing over 2,000 pounds, one of the bears was nicknamed Bigfoot.
Well, that would be a big bear.
Yeah. So because that happened in 1895, some people think that the name just carried on as well, because it was about the same time as all of these hoaxes and things were going on as well. Mm-hmm. There was another bear called Bigfoot that was slightly smaller. It was 1,800 pounds. But that was also just
veritably tiny compared.
Just killing livestock everywhere, basically. And I just want to make a note here that black bears range from 5 to 7 feet, and grizzly bears go for 8 to 9 feet tall.
Yeah, about 5 feet wide as well.
Yeah, very big.
Very girthy.
And call this coincidence, my friend, but areas that have bears native to them seem to have more reports on Bigfoot.
Well, that is a coincidence.
Yeah, that is a big coincidence.
Yeah.
Not to mention that there have been bears with mange that look a bit odd. So people have suspected that of being Bigfoot. Like there's a lot of trail cams.
Don't look anything like a monkey though, or a monkey human.
No, they do. So there's trail cam footage
really
of a bear with mange walking on all fours.
But its nose is completely different.
Well, trail cams are night vision, aren't they? So you don't get the full detail.
Oh, okay.
So you can see like a silhouette of like
poor resolution again.
Yeah, poor resolution.
Yeah, very good.
So again, it's bears with mange have been identified as Bigfoot, but also there have been stories of black bear that if they get injured, like their front paw, they learn or teach themselves to walk around on their hind legs.
Their hind feet, yeah.
So they're even taller. So that's also been mistaken for Bigfoot.
Like Gentle Ben. There's another reference that shows my age, and I bet you don't remember Gentle Ben either, do you?
I know the name.
Yeah.
I know the name Gentle Ben. Now, I've got some screenshots. So
what, of Bigfoot?
No, that doesn't exist. So
oh, big claim, big claim.
No, they don't exist on my phone, I should say.
Oh, okay. Exists on my T-shirt.
He does, yeah. You really want people to buy that T-shirt because that's the third time we've mentioned it. So
I'm plugging it, baby.
There have been known stories of great apes such as chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans that have escaped from captivity in zoos and circuses over the years, or exotic pets belonging to private owners. But scientists argue that the forest area isn't the right climate for great apes.
No, it's probably not.
Weather-wise and temperature-wise.
More great apes live in like tropical sort of or subtropical climates. Really, most monkeys do. In fairness, like you find a lot of them Africa, India, Asia, in those tropical and subtropical climates, but not really above or below those areas.
Yeah.
So Bigfoot living in a temperate region of North America. You kind of tilting the scales against him being there.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. So humans have been also mistaken for Bigfoot. There was a man wearing a ghillie suit who was trying to trick people and hoax things, and he got hit by a car and died.
Just one?
Yeah, well, one in a ghillie suit. He was killed because obviously he's trying to prank people and he's run across the road in a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
So
you probably wouldn't break if someone pretending to be Bigfoot ran across the road in a ghillie suit, would you? You'd be like,
Yeah. In 2013, a 21-year-old man in Oklahoma was arrested after he told law enforcement he accidentally shot his friend in the back while their group was allegedly hunting for Bigfoot.
Right.
So I'm guessing his friend was big and hairy. Otherwise, how would you confuse it?
Yeah.
So in 2017, a shamanist, is that the word? Wearing clothing made of animal furs, was vacationing in North Carolina forest when local reports of alleged Bigfoot sightings flooded in. The Greenville Police Department issued a public notice not to shoot Bigfoot for fear of mistakenly injuring or killing someone in a fur suit. In 2018, a person was...
Skinwalker.
Do you know the crazy thing is when I was doing some of the research, some of the people that they really, really believe in Bigfoot, I was seeing claims of people saying that Bigfoot have mystical powers and they can shapeshift. That's
Same thing then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
So,
There we go. My uncle was a Bigfoot. Every night when the full moon was out, turned into a giant monkey.
I've heard of werewolves, but turning into Bigfoot,
He was a were-monkey.
a were-monkey. That could be next year's Halloween special.
Maybe.
Were-monkey.
Who knows? Not the dog man.
So in 2018, a person was shot at multiple times by a hunter near Montana who claimed he mistook him for Bigfoot.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry again. Didn't mean to shoot you twice. I thought I saw another Bigfoot.
I haven't got my hunting spectacles on.
Left my binoculars back there.
Additionally, some have attributed feral humans or hermits living in the wilderness as being another explanation for Bigfoot sightings.
Now, that is a fair reasoning. Because I know plenty of stories of people kind of going feral, you know, going wandering off into the woods and just living there off grid.
Yeah.
And, you know, staying there for years and years and years and basically never talking to humans, you know, for like 20 years and stuff. Like, and yeah, maybe they make little wooden pads to sit on the bottom of their feet so they can pretend to be Bigfoots as they're going around.
I could well do, yeah.
Well, you know, if you want to live in peace in the forest and you want to stop people from finding your home,
Yeah, I mean, it worked for the guys back in the day, stopping thieves.
what was a better way than to, you know, surround your home with like Bigfoot paw prints or footprints?
Yeah.
You know, a half-mile radius around your home. People are just going to keep tracking those footprints around in a circle. They won't find your house in the middle.
Yeah. And then they'll go, that's got 6 toes. That's not Bigfoot.
Damn it, I couldn't count.
The fancy word for seeing faces is another explanation for Bigfoot. You know,
Go on.
like the face on
Go on,
the
no, I want to see you say the fancy word.
anthropomorphization.
Anthropomorphization.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's another explanation for Bigfoot is, you know, it's half dark, the moon's going away, and you can kind of see a bear, but then our human brains like to see faces.
Yeah.
So
There's also another explanation for anthropomorphization.
what? Say again?
I said it twice already. Is that you know when people say, "Oh, my dog's got a certain character, or it understands, you know, certain things," or not necessarily dogs because dogs are intelligent, but that literally the definition is ascribing human characteristics to animals that don't have those characteristics. Yeah. So it's basically the same thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Some of the sounds that people have claimed to be Bigfoot have been proven to be owls, wolves, coyotes, and foxes.
Deer.
And
We've been hearing a lot of deer around in the mornings lately up on the farm, and some of the noises they make are scary.
Yes. No, they are.
When you hear them in the dark.
Big old grunts.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who like them city folk going out into the country, they hear like a deer or something like that, an elk or whatever. I don't know what elk sounds like, but if it's anything like a deer in the night or at the mating season, the hair comes up on the back of your neck when you hear
very, very loud.
Very loud.
So let's kick off we're starting to go towards part 2, where we've come away from the history and the kind of debunking.
Well, we are on a strict time limit because it's a 2-parter this time, so we can't go wandering off topic.
So we're going to briefly talk about the Patterson-Gimlin footage.
Oh, that original one with
the most famous Bigfoot footage of all time.
Yeah.
Well, arguably, but most people consider
What do they call it? Patty or Dotty or?
I can't remember.
Mike Pudlow-Hamley told us, didn't he? And I can't remember what it was now.
Let's call her Mary, if you like.
Yeah.
On October 20th, 1967, Bigfoot enthusiast Roger Patterson and his partner Robert Gimlin were filming a Bigfoot docudrama in an area called Bluff Creek in Northern California. The pair claimed they came upon a Bigfoot and filmed the encounter. The 59.5 second long video, dubbed the Patterson footage, has become iconic in pop culture and Bigfoot related history and lore. This video continues to be analysed and debated to this day. Mm-hmm. Some say hoax, others say real. It's still up for debate.
It is. I found it the other day and sent it to you. Mm-hmm. The original Patterson footage.
Yeah.
I also found a stabilised version because it is very shaky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very shaky, very grainy. And managed to find a stabilised version that I think used like AI to construct the surrounding area, and you could see the actual the original footage sort of moving around screen on the stabilised version, couldn't you? But that stabilised, it does look very convincing.
It's actually the most convincing video I've seen.
Yeah.
And that was back in 1967.
And like,
I've not seen much else.
Here's another point as well, is have you seen any of like the behind the scenes footage from like the new Planet of the Apes films?
No, never seen Planet of the Apes.
Now, they've got a load of actors, and these actors have been specially trained to like walk and hold themselves like monkeys.
Oh, I've seen those clips.
Yeah. And I think, considering this was 1967, in possibly somebody in a gorilla suit, if it is a hoax, it's very well done. Because there's no one to teach you how to walk like that, and that creature is not walking particularly like a human. It is walking like something, it's a bit hunchbacked,
swinging its arms.
Yeah. It's walking as though it's natural to that forest, as though it's a completely natural thing to do.
And it's also, if it is a hoax, that would have had to be someone very, very tall.
Yeah.
So, but that is the most famous footage. You can find that again. It's type in Bigfoot Patterson footage.
But did you say they were actually trying to make a Bigfoot film?
Yeah, it was a docudrama.
Okay, because when I found it on I think it was YouTube, there was no. I didn't read the description or anything, but it was just them filming themselves riding around on horses for the first 2 minutes. And I think it was at like minute 2 minutes 40. I think it was. Into that particular piece of footage, and it was, like you say, it was a 10-second clip of that Bigfoot just walking away, and that was it, done.
I could be wrong. I don't think they ever completed the whole thing. I think they got this, they found this clip or had this clip, and they just thought, right, this will do. This is all we need.
But that 10 or 20 seconds is all they did need.
Yeah,
because it's such compelling evidence. Mm-hmm. And that is, I mean, any time you see like that classic photograph of it turning round and looking back at the camera, it's just the first time you see it, it's stuck in your head for the rest of your life, isn't it?
And I would start there if someone's gonna do their own Bigfoot research. I would start with that video because that is by far the most convincing one. Yeah,
definitely.
But that's what we're gonna end on. There is the Patterson footage, because that's going to lead into part 2, where we're going to talk about evidence that supports Bigfoot, some of the stories, some of the eyesight. What is the word? Like, it's not eyesight. What was it? I can't. My mind's
eyewitness accounts.
That's the one. Yeah, eyewitness accounts.
You've got glasses on.
Yeah, I know. And we're actually going to discuss our opinions on Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Is he real? Is he not? We're going to give it a rating.
So that so far is the facts as we know it.
Yeah.
We can't definitively say yes, Bigfoot is real. We can't definitively say no, it's a hoax. All we know is these facts. Some people, like the Patterson-Gimlin footage, is claiming it's real. We've got other claims at the time that was real and possibly was made up by people wearing wooden blocks on their feet with footprints on it, oversized footprints with five or six toes.
We've got mistaken identities for bears and other animals.
Yeah.
And so
these are all possibilities that can present themselves as Bigfoot.
Yes.
And next time round, we're going to deep dive into some of these things, and we're going to decide, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to make a decision, for better or worse, whatever your personal feelings are listening to this at home or driving your car, or whatever you're doing. Don't hate if it doesn't align with your own beliefs. You can believe what you want to believe.
Yeah. I think people that love Bigfoot really want him to be real.
I want him to be real.
Other people aren't that fussed. They're like, oh, no, he doesn't, is it?
I don't think there's a whole lot of evidence to support that he's real, but I want him to be real.
I know, man.
You want him to be real.
He's my absolute favourite, theory.
Yeah.
Cryptid. Like, I want him to be real as well. But you're going to have to tune into part 2 to see what evidence I found to support that he's real.
Yeah.
Including a very, very good story that is close to my heart.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I'm not going to ruin it, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and that alone makes me sway to the side of, okay, it is possible that Bigfoot is real, but that's all I'll say. So yeah, tune in for part 2.
Tune in for part 2. And visit https://paranormalityuk.mymercher.com to get your own Paranormality Bigfoot t-shirt. Yes, I've plugged it for a 4th time. When you can stop by and see all the other designs that we got, the one that Josh is wearing at the moment. If you're a Star Wars fan, we got Paranormality in the Star Wars fonts, just for Josh, really.
Yeah.
And some other designs on there, some cool alien designs and stuff like that as well. But yeah, do check out the merch store, because there is no better Bigfoot t-shirt out there, in my opinion.
Click on the link.
Maybe because it's got Bigfoot and it's in purple. So I might be biased, but hey.
We do like Bigfoot.
We do. We love Bigfoot. I can't wait for next week.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to get into it, because I feel like I've cheated the listeners by doing it in 2 parts.
I know one person's definitely going to complain.
Yeah, I just want to have that divide so people can have the history, they can have the things that might be debunking it, they can go away, have a think about it, decide whether they still believe or if they want to believe. Whatever they feel is fine, and then come in with a fresh mind next week with part 2, and I've got the opposite of this week, if that makes sense. I'm going to be fighting for Bigfoot next week.
And until then, I've been Pirate.
I'm Josh.
Bigfoot isn't here, but this is Paranormality UK. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta!